Yo, what up, what up, what up? It's Friday! It's the Nerd Den. How's it
Friday!
going, everybody?
Nerd Den.
Yeah. How's it going?
Not too bad. You?
Yay. I'm doing okay. I'm exhausted.
So what'd you work on today?
The deck for Adult Fantasy.
Okay. How's the
Yeah.
website redesign coming along?
I haven't gotten to it yet.
Oh,
I got it one thing at a time, dude.
I
All this stuff
understand.
takes a lot of time. So
I understand
right now,
completely.
what I'm working on is I'm getting the Substack blog set up, and I started working on getting a bunch of posts like pre-written. But then I realized that in order to get the posts based on what we were talking about lore games last night, I was like, oh well, I really need to dive into the deck so that we can all have like an updated deck on like what the adult fantasy world is and how it works and some of that stuff. So I'm working on a draft of that, and then then all of us will be on the same page, and then I'll be able to take some of that stuff and create posts.
No, I did have a question specifically for Avery. I want to say months ago, but I'm pretty sure it was years ago. We were talking about printing the books, Hero specifically, and he recommended a printer. I believe the name is Maxium.
Mixum.
Mixum, and it's one I bookmarked
okay,
to look
yeah.
into in the future. I was wondering if he knew of another one or a better one, because their prices are really, really up there. I mean,
Yeah, there's some good ones.
to the point where just doing what I want to do
Mhm.
might quickly
No,
throw me into,
Mixum's okay.
yeah.
I have a bunch of it up here actually. The ones that I have are what depend. I guess it depends on what you're looking to do. Are you talking about like for the source book, or are you talking about for something
No, I'm
else?
talking about for Hero.
Oh yeah. So
Printing it 8.5 by 11, doing
yeah.
trade paperback versions as
No,
well
look
as
at
hardcover versions.
so I don't know. I have the I talked to Michelle Fife from Copra, and oh shit. Well, there goes my book. No longer mint condition. Hold on for a second.
Oh,
I
poor
know.
baby. And honestly, I don't know if I want to deal with foreign printers. I don't want to go through Japan or anything like that, or China or whatever. Canada might be okay. I think Canada might be okay. But I don't know if I want to go through like a Korean printer or something like that. So, but Avery's usually in the know on
I
some of
hit the
these
wrong
things.
I hit the wrong button. I've been talking to you, and I've been like, "What the fuck? Why won't you let me speak?" And then I realized I hit my mute button instead of my camera button. So that was fun. No,
Oh,
you
so
won't have to go overseas. You won't have to go overseas.
okay,
I
good.
talked to Michelle Fife from Copra, and so I got his printer, the guys that do this, and
Yep.
this is like a brick. Like this thing is incredible.
Now, did
But
he do it? Did
but
he do a hardback of Copra?
I mean, he does. Yeah. I mean, Image put one out. Yeah, he's got a
Okay.
hardback. I've got it over here. You would look at. I would look at Print Ninja is one that they now have a domestic option for 8.5 by 11.
I remember them in the early days. That was Print
Yeah,
Ninja, and what was the other one that comics that a lot of people did?
you were doing Kablam for a while.
Kablam was
Yeah,
another one that
and Lulu and all that shit. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Print Ninja's quality is top notch. They're really good.
Yeah.
But
Isn't
the only
Print
thing is
Ninja foreign?
they're Chinese, but they've opened domestic printing.
Oh, okay.
But here's the thing: you won't be able. They do have minimums, but their minimums domestically are low. It's just that like you won't be able to get a hardbound unless you order 250 copies.
Okay, that's not unreasonable for what I'm
Right.
thinking. So, okay.
So their minimum, or is it like, yeah, I think it's 250. I can't remember, but I think it's like 250 copies minimum. And then the hardbounds are made overseas because they have all the machines over there. But if you want comics or softbound cover stuff,
Mhm.
like pretty much everything else, you can get it done domestically now through Print Ninja, and the
Okay.
turnaround times are faster. So,
All right. Well, I will definitely put them on the list to check out then.
and then I've got the printer that Michelle Fife gave me, which is like isn't a legit printer. I don't know the name of it. I don't remember. But I have it bookmarked.
Okay. All right. Well, I knew you guys would have more information on it than I would. So you guys are. That's why I turned to you guys. You're smarter.
Sure.
Yeah. It's good to have smarter friends or to have smart friends. You know,
It does work. It does help.
it does.
It does help to have a good network of people.
Yes. Starting very soon. There's a lot of projects that need to be put on the board and get going.
Yeah.
So I don't want to jinx myself and announce what I'm doing, because if I don't do it, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
People will ask you about it to the day you die, and
Oh, I know.
it just wasn't the right time, right?
Yeah. Now it's not. Now or never, man. Like the opportunity that is coming our way in the next 6 months is insane, and
Well,
I'm not prepared for it, and I don't feel prepared for it, I guess I should say.
Well, the simple fact that I've been retired from my day job for 5 months and have yet to pick up a pencil is not good. There's so many things I need to work on, so many things I need to do, and it's just a matter of making the time.
I'll just tell you, man, if you just don't do it, you're not going to do it. And that's coming from a guy who basically has made his career like however I fucking wanted to, and I still don't have time to do comics.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, I've got to make the time, because you can't look at the body of work that I already have finished and say, why the hell do you not have printed copies in your store right now?
mhm.
You know, and there's reasons I don't, and those reasons are not surmountable. Those reasons are not impossible to achieve. It just has to be. You have to sit down, take the time, and fucking do it. And that's
Right.
I got it. I just next year is going to be a good year. I think next year a lot of things are going to happen.
I do too. I think next year's going to be great.
Yep. Especially if I want adult fantasy to publish Hero. Did I say that? Oh,
I would love that. I would love that, man.
Hey, you never know. Something like that could be exciting.
Yeah. Is Avery and Zach here?
They're being quiet, as they should.
I'm just fucking with them.
All right. Well, in that case, I'll just.
I find it amazing that Zach takes me seriously every time I open my mouth. I just find it hilarious.
You really shouldn't take him seriously.
Yeah. So you guys want to see a couple of slab books I got this week?
Of course.
I only got two, but I did win a couple more that are on their way to me, and they're important books, but I got them for like really super cheap. Like one of them I paid $1 for, and another one I paid $1.25 for. So I'm kind of okay with that. But the two that I got, you know what's so bad is I got these and I got them at a really good price, and I let a bunch of them get away from me because I wasn't paying attention to the auctions. The guy had a bunch of different books up and in all different grades, and these are ones that I would buy just simply to have the covers. But this is issue number 27 of Preacher. It's a 9.0 copy, which isn't bad, but it's gorgeous Glenn Fabray artwork on the cover.
Yeah, he's sick. He's so good. I would love to have an art book of his.
Well, this is one of those series where it's not impossible to get all the issues. They're not like super rare. They're out there, but you know how I'm collecting. I have a couple of series that I am collecting. I want slabbed copies, like Long Shot. I want all 6 issues slabbed, and I'm working towards completing that. This is one of those series that, because the covers are so awesome, it could easily go on that list as a modern collection to look for, to try to collect. But for the time being, they're going to go in the store. And the other one I picked up was issue number 30, which has The Boys on it.
See, this is my problem with Preacher. I love Preacher and I would love to collect it, but I kind of have a rule because of the kids not to get anything too horror themed or demonic or anything like that. And that's all the fun stuff.
Well, yeah. Well, there's that one Glenn Fabray cover with the angel and the demon consummating, and that's pretty blatant, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of
There's a lot of stuff.
risque stuff, but
Yeah.
you can't deny the fact that the art on the covers were, every single one was a piece of art and fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, I don't honestly think there was a weak one in the entire collection. If you've ever seen the covers, I can't. There was one collection where there was one storyline where every issue is like a face shot of the main characters.
hmm
Granted, that's kind of weak in the fact that it's not dynamic, but putting them all together, it was gorgeous. You know, it highlighted all the main characters. It made them all stand out. It was very much a statement storyline. You know,
hmm
but yeah, Glenn Fablay's that's like the Dave Johnson covers on 100 Bullets.
Yeah.
You know, there's a couple there that I thought knocked it out of the park, were gorgeous, but would I want to collect all 100 issues just for the covers as a slabbed book?
Right.
I don't know. I have issue number 1. And it's great, but would I want to go to the extent of 100 issues?
Probably not.
Yeah, probably that's a huge commitment. So,
hmm
but I started collecting the Marvel features, which the 6-issue series Marvel features from the 70s was the Red Sonja, the
Mhm.
original Red Sonja comics,
Mhm.
and I have a few of them already slabbed, but I just got in that last collection an entire run unslabbed. So I have them.
Cool.
Just a matter of time getting them slabbed and adding them to my collection. But the same thing with the Red Sonja series, which went, I think, for 16 issues. I have most of them now. Not all of them, but I have most of them. So,
Can I tell you a secret?
sure, you want to unhighlight me?
I mean,
You don't have to, but
I've been thinking about this, and I don't know if this is going to happen, but I am considering.
mhm.
So one of the things that I have on my 2025 to-do list is I'm going to redo my office a little bit. Like, this stuff will stay the same. So on camera, you're not going to see anything different. But
Okay.
my comic collection, I have these bookcases here, and they kind of end right here.
Right.
And right next to this, I start to have my comic book long boxes, my short boxes.
Yeah.
Right? You've seen the room. Well, what I want to do is I want to get like some U-line shelving, and I want to put the shelving against the whole wall so I can just start stacking boxes and books. And like, I'm running out of book space for what I can hold, right? I've got the space, I just don't have places to put the books, right? So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to organize this. I want to do an Andrew, and I want to take an inventory and all that. Like, I love that kind of stuff too. So I'm like, yeah, I really want to get into it. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, I have up here, off camera, but up here, I have a whole bunch of comics that are like reader copies that I've gotten from your store, and other places too, like Heroes Con and stuff, right? And I realized that the books that don't have a bag and backboard, I really look at those way more than anything that's bagged and backboarded, tremendously. And I'm considering, when I redo the office, to take out most of my bag and backboards, except for the books that I've had forever that are actually mint condition and that are kind of collectible, or that I'm really wanting to keep mint. But so many books I have are there for reading and checking out and just staring at, and they're not like greater copies, but they're bag and backboard, and so I don't really look at it as much as the ones that are just like out there. You know what I mean?
Let me just put this out there. In my store, I have a lot of dollar comics, $2 and up comics, all bagged and bordered. I try to keep them all organized so I can find them. And I also have boxes of quarter comics that I sell 5 for $1, 20-cent comics. They are all in bags.
No, I know.
Not bags and boards, but just bags. In my mind, even a quarter comic, even a 20-cent comic should be in a bag.
You really think so?
But I do that for another reason. Some of the comics that are in those boxes, don't have barcodes on them. So I have to use my own specific barcode. So if it's in a bag, I can add my
Well,
barcode
that's
to
a
the bag.
retailer. That's like
Yeah,
a
it's a retailer's
retail
thing. But
reason.
I don't think I would, even quarter comics, I still put in bags. Even the ones that have barcodes on them, I still put them in bags. So the idea of
Naked.
that.
Naked.
But
I'm
I do
thinking
have
about it.
I do have some in
Well, you know what
my
it is?
office.
I don't like flipping. I don't like flipping through comics that are not bagged and boarded, right? But I just want to make sure, I was just like, the ones that are just like laying naked on my desk and back here, I actually look at those way more. So maybe I'll have a box or something, a box, that I can just kind of go to.
Well, and it would also be helpful because your daughter's going to come in and grab a comic from time to time. And if you have a specific box that she knows these are ones you can pull out and read anytime, she would enjoy that thoroughly.
Well, that's the other thing too, is like I've enjoyed the reader copies because she turns pages and the pages rip because they're old comics and she doesn't know. And it doesn't bother me because they're just reader copies, like if it was a mint condition, John Byrne Fantastic Four issue, I would fucking melt. But if it's just like, you know what I mean? But if it's like, oh well, it's just a reader copy and it kind of smells like cigarette smoke, like whatever, I don't give a fuck. Go for it.
Yeah. No, I understand that completely. But I mean, she's got to start somewhere, and being able to access comics, that's the easiest thing, Teaching her to take care of a comic, that's the next step. But you've got to find one that she really enjoys, that she really likes.
Yep.
And then you teach her how to take good care of it, how to bag and board it, how to appropriately preserve it. And it doesn't matter if it's worth money or not. Doesn't matter. It could be a quarter comic, it could be a $10. It does not matter. But first you have to teach them to enjoy reading them. Then you have to teach them to take care of them. And you can't instill that when they're just starting to read.
Well, no, and she doesn't, and I love my daughter. She doesn't give two shits about like she's the ADHD-ness takes over. She doesn't give two shits about.
Now, did I tell you that story about how I went into one of the local comic book stores here in town, one of the chain stores, and a lady came in and she was specifically looking for manga comics. And the guys there were like, well, we could show you what we have, no problem. And the reason why, and she told them, is because she had gotten a few, gave them to her son, and her son literally used them as a coloring book and had a great time coloring the pages. And the guys behind the counter freaked out. They were like, oh my God, I can't believe you would let somebody do that. And I'm thinking to myself, what the hell?
Yeah, you're getting the kid addicted to it. Like the kid's gonna love it.
This is something he's gonna love for the rest of his life. Let him do it. Let him be creative. And they were like, "Oh my God!" They were like offended.
Did they make fun of the woman?
No, they just their reaction was like, "Oh my God! I can't believe you crazy ass woman did this." And I'm thinking to myself, "Dude, get her some more books. This kid needs to he needs to expand his horizons.
Yeah.
Freaking A." And I did that post. It was years ago where I said my town needs a better comic book store. Because if that's how you're going to react to a kid experiencing and doing, being creative.
Yeah.
You all don't have a creative bone in your body. You have no idea what it takes.
This is, they want you to be creative and love the hobby, but they want you to love the hobby the way they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Like, oh well, you're not doing my hobby the right way.
Yeah, that's another thing too. So do you have something you wanted to share with us today?
Not really.
No? All right. Well,
I mean, I do. I have. I don't know if I can share it on camera. I bought the. I mean, when I share an artist edition, do you actually get to see it, or is it kind of like hard to see?
Do you mean an actual book or pages online?
No, the actual book.
We usually can see what you're showing us. I mean, we have good imaginations. It's not.
No.
Do you have you have a new one to share? Or?
Well, I'm not gonna. I won't do it. I did get the Eric Larson. I got the Eric Larson Savage Dragon artist edition.
Oh.
You do know this. I showed you the picture.
No, I thought literally when you showed the picture, I thought you were showing us like a preview that was online.
No, that
I
was
didn't
in my
realize
lap,
you
bro.
had it in your hand.
Oh fuck! Let me get it.
I
Hold
did
on.
not. I did not get that.
Yeah,
Nope.
yeah, dude. So I've got the artist edition. It is phenomenal, bro. It is incredible.
I thought you had found somebody was showing a preview of it, and you were sharing that with us. I didn't realize you had it in your freaking hands.
No, well, there's also some awesome artwork on auction. Like there's it's the end of the year auction, so it's like there's a Jay Lee piece that's fucking sick. But yeah, check it out.
Oh wow! Now, who did you get that through? Amazon or
Amazon? I pre-ordered this.
Oh, okay, okay.
And it's actually it's 11 by 17, right? Yep. It's and this is my first Vault edition, and they package it differently than the IDW ones a little bit, and I actually prefer the IDW ones.
Who printed that one?
I'm guessing Image.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know. I assume it's Image. Yeah, it's Image. But what they do is they have like the seam in the back instead of like opening the whole fold. I don't know. It confused me for a minute. I was like, "What the fuck is that?" Like, But it is, and I'm just gonna tell you, like, I really highly recommend it. This is one of those. This one and the Jason Pearson one, man. Like, they were kind of like.
Who's publishing the Jason Pearson one? Do you know? I mean, I haven't looked in a while, so.
That's Scott Dunbier. So Scott Dunbier from IDW left, and he started his own company called Fourth Act or something like that.
Okay.
Or Act 4, Act 3, whatever it is.
Who did the John Paul Leon one? Because I honestly never even looked.
That I'm not sure.
I know Scott was involved with it, but I don't know who actually printed it.
I think that might be like the bridge of the gap, right? Like,
okay,
he's basically started his own company, and he's still doing the artist edition books. He's just doing it from his own company because I think he realized, hey, the artist editions are the only thing that people are buying from IDW. So here I'm gonna
highlight
this in
yourself.
solo layout. Yeah. So look at that.
Oh wow.
Right. And what's amazing is that every single page of this is just fucking good. You know what I'm gonna do? Give me 1 second. I'm actually gonna unhighlight myself.
Okay.
Because I'm wondering if I hook up my camera, if I can hold it and look down and you can see it. You know what I mean?
Okay. Go for it.
So here, I'm just gonna stop my camera so you don't have to see me stand up here for a second. But
since I'm the only one here, I'm gonna stop my camera too.
Well, okay. I don't have that much space. My desk is like really small. But let's see what we
That's what she said.
Yeah. Well, I've got a small drawing tablet on the table. So.
I actually cleared my drawing table today and used my drawing table for my animation project.
Oh.
I actually used it today.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know. Hey, little baby steps, right? Baby steps.
All right, so let me see. If I hit start camera, it's probably got me standing up. Right. Okay, let's see kind of settings and video, FaceTime, camera. Let's do this. There we go. Okay. All right.
I see your disc.
This is better, right? Better?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, much better.
All right, so I'm gonna. Sorry for the wonkiness, right?
Now, when you said you pre-ordered it, did you pay like cover price? You didn't pay any premium or anything on it, did you?
No, it was you actually get a discount.
Okay.
You'll look at that.
You know, his style kind of changed from that first cover as you go into it a little bit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Imagine what the comic would be like if he still maintained that original style.
Well, that's what's so interesting. He actually is drawing by the end of this issue, the 6 issues. He's drawing a lot looser, but you never could tell.
Right.
It's. I mean, I'm sorry, my room is a little dark. Hold on.
No, you're okay. You're good.
Hold on. Is that too much?
See,
Is that
now
better?
it's just glaring. So
Is that better or
it's
worse?
fine. No, it's fine. It's fine.
It's better.
Yeah.
So this is sequential order from the, like, not just the way he drew it, but then when he did the half issues and all that shit. And like, what's interesting is he renumbered the entire story. And I don't know if he did it for this volume. You see how it says page 9, number 2,
Mm-hmm.
and then page 10, number 3. Well, if you go back here, it's like page 75,
Right. Right.
page 74. Like, he renumbered the entire thing. So I don't know if he did it for this specifically or for like a graphic novel release, like a trade release. But like,
How did he do that 15 panel layout for a lot of it?
what do you mean 15 panel?
Well, the one where it was just them talking, it was 15 panels.
Yeah, he did a lot. He did a lot of that.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
he broke it up, but I remember seeing a lot of that during
Dude.
the story. So
So the other cool thing is like the lettering. This is not digital lettering.
mhm.
This is on the page.
Oh wow.
So they must have like done like a digital font and then printed it out and traced it off like a drawing and then
Yep,
inked it.
yep.
Right. But wait until you see this, like when it gets to that first issue, because this is all the like the early stuff here.
Yeah.
But like, dude, I'm telling you, it gets like look at that.
Well, there were some issues in the early run that he got really messy with.
Yeah,
But it was like,
this.
yeah, like that. Yeah, you see a lot of that in the background
Yeah.
where they just, yeah. But it had to do with a lot of the villains that he introduced. They were dirty and messy and
Yeah,
nasty.
there are a couple of issues in the back of this that are really dirty, and it's really fucking cool looking. Yeah, look at that, dude.
Hmm.
And that baptism by fire, that's all like on the page. Like, look at this detail.
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
I know somebody mentioned it. I think Zach may have mentioned it yesterday, but has anybody done a wellness check on Eric Larson? Is he okay?
That's what I think Zach was saying. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't know. I have not. He's a psychopath, man. But like, dude, what's crazy, honestly, like as you look through these pages, is just how good every single page is. It's definitely him, and it's definitely like loose and stuff,
Yeah.
right? But like, it's just banging page after banging page. Like, it's really fucking good, dude.
I don't mean to be offensive,
Mhm.
but thank God he did this while he was still alive. You know, because this is kind of it. How many times have we seen some really great books like this come out after somebody's gone and they're collecting their works? You know,
This is one of my all-time favorite pages. All time. Like, so you've got Savage Dragon up here and the cops are on the ground, right? And then they're pinned down, and so Dragon goes into the back of the cop car to get his guns. He's got like all these fucking guns. So there's the hero pose, right? But then she says, "How are you going to get?" And he goes, "Christ!" And he jumps up, and it's just purely like I've never seen a panel layout where it goes down and your eye shoots all the way to the top of the page. I love that. I've never seen that before or since. Like, that is just so good. And yeah, like, look how dirty this is, man.
yeah.
Like, it's just splatter and fucking ink. That's the other thing that I is really interesting about this. Like, he's really just drawing this. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like Scott Williams is an illustrator, right? Like, Scott Williams would ink every little corner of these things. You know what I mean? But Larson is just like drawing it out. Like, he's suggesting it. There's nothing really there. It's really loose. Look at that. It's all on the page, dude. Isn't that cool? Like, and like I said, every page is just.
Did he always ink himself?
Yes. He started inking himself on Spider-Man, I think. But but I mean, all Savage Dragon, 100%. He wrote it, penciled it, and inked it.
Wonder if he took 3 paychecks.
Probably. Look at that shit, dude. And this was one of my favorite issues. Remember this one?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Really dirty.
Yeah. Look how nasty that is.
I think it was an interview with Scotty Young, where he was talking about how, if he wrote a comic, penciled it, and inked it, he got 3 paychecks from Marvel.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, look at this. Like, right? Yeah, it's really
I remember
good.
all that stuff. Super Patriot, freaking awesome.
Yeah, so good. And then the girl that gets shot in the head. See if I can find some good shot. Look, I love this fucking page, dude. Isn't that cool?
Do you remember that picture that I sent you? I sent you and Avery. It was a picture from Amazing Spider-Man, a page from Amazing Spider-Man that Eric Larson had done, and then it was a page from Savage Dragon, and it's the exact same page.
Yeah.
And I said, is this cheating or brilliant?
Oh, it's totally brilliant. It's his work, so.
Oh, I know. But he didn't change anything about it. Even the characters looked exactly the same, but one was Mary Jane and one was his redhead super hot cop from his comic. I wonder if he did that on purpose to see if anybody saw it or caught it.
Probably.
Well,
there's a shot in Body Bags that is literally a Michael Golden panel.
Well, he was influenced by Michael Golden majorly, so I could understand.
There's your Bad Rock.
Now, was that back when he was still Bedrock? I don't remember.
No, I think he was already Bad Rock.
Okay.
I'm trying to get to some of the covers back here. Wham!
Double page spread.
I just love how, look at that. I mean, it's on the page, dude.
Yeah.
It's on the page.
You need to do a story. You need to do a short AF story where all the word balloons are on the page.
Oh no, I think that's going to be. I think that's going to be the way I draw it. It's got to have word balloons on the page.
Well, I'm thinking like pick a specific character that would be very action oriented, over the top oriented, and then do a short story, like a 4, 5, 8 page story in which every panel has like a massive word balloon and is part of the art. I mean, a la Walter Simonson or Eric Larson or whatnot. But yeah.
Look at that shit, dude.
See, I like the idea. I like the idea of some of those 70s covers in which, they were very dynamic looking covers and they had word balloons incorporated into them. Just doing an homage to those kind of covers,
I mean, that's just fucking badass. Right?
Yep. And I'm assuming the Zipatone was on the page too.
Oh yeah, everything. Yep.
You have to admit, he's an old school genius,
He really is, man. I mean, I know he cracked and he's kind of a nut job, but like, fuck, man. Dude, what? You know what I mean? Like, come on, look at that.
Yeah.
It's like got the Kirby shortening, but
it's got kind of that image has like a J. Scott Campbell feel to the face,
Yeah.
Because I don't know if he ever drew him like that. With a smile like that as often. I wonder if he was influenced by somebody or if somebody helped him with that one.
I love his hands.
Oh, yeah. Big, thick, brawny fingers.
Looks like all the detail in there.
Oh. Can almost see Wolverine in that pose, you know?
Totally.
It's definitely a character that you could see the creator like to draw him.
Yeah.
You know, there was love for the character. Every time he picked up the pencil and drew the character, he loved doing it. You know?
He was really into this character. Up until the time he killed him. Yeah, look at how messy this is. Like,
Yeah. That was the 90s. That's what we were doing back then, you know?
that's a 1992 right here. Early.
That was the beginning of Image. 91 into 92 was the beginning of Image.
Yeah.
But he had created the Savage Dragon when he was a kid. So
Yeah.
there was a lot of Savage Dragon prior to this, but I don't think any of it was like his style Savage Dragon now.
Right.
You know, because I know there were Savage Dragon stories that were published, but he didn't have the big fin. He had the small fin and all that other stuff. So, you know, it was a different dragon back in the day. But dude, no, that's awesome. I honestly, I thought you were showing us a preview of something. You weren't showing us the. I realized
No,
you
I was like, oh, look, I got it in. It's fucking amazing.
I don't remember a text saying that. I just saw a text with a picture.
No, well, I thought you knew. Yeah, well, yeah, no, I sent it to you. I was like, bro, but I thought I had told you that I was ordering it. I had ordered it for my birthday.
Nope. Had no idea that's what happened. So
yeah. So, but
Very
yeah,
cool.
and I went ahead and I went ahead and like against my better judgment, although not really, because I would kill myself if I couldn't fucking get it. The Body Bags artist edition.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I went ahead and like jumped in on that. I mean, there's no discounts. I checked. There's no discounts for like batch orders, or else I would have just like asked you about it.
Yeah.
But
It's one of the reasons why I kind of have been holding off on it to see if they added something like that.
yeah,
But
it doesn't seem like it. Again, I don't think they're like that good at it. Like that good at Kickstarter. Like I don't think they know what they're doing that much. You know?
yeah.
But it's doing really well. I mean, everybody wants it because it's like it's Jason Pearson, it's Body Bags, and it's done by people who know what they're doing. You know, it's not Jason.
Yeah, once again, sorry it had to be after the fact, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do though? I mean,
Yeah.
he
Well,
didn't have to.
It's still on my list
What's that?
to get it. There's still 12 days left, so
Yeah, I was waiting, and then I was just like, why? I was like, I know I'm gonna get it. I'm not. There's no chance. Let me get myself up. There's zero chance that I'm not gonna do it. And I know also it'll probably go into overtime or whatever the fuck. Like, but I was like, there's no chance that I'm gonna miss this. And so I was like, well, if I'm not gonna miss it, if I'm definitely doing it, then I should just fucking do it, because I'm the guy that like is like, no, I'm definitely doing this, and then I completely forget about it, and then I remember like the day after the thing closes.
yeah, I've done that before.
Yeah, and I'm like, fuck, like why did I miss this?
Yeah, there was that
So-
Dan Pinogia art book that was out that I was like really interested in because it had some pretty art in it, and I missed it completely because I wasn't paying attention to it.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, it definitely gets me inspired to work.
well, it's up to 82,000, so
Yeah.
there's an 85,000, a 90, 95, and 100,000. But I don't think the stretch goals are like really impressive.
They're not. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think they really understand how to do this. They're just like, oh, 8 more pages. And you're like, well, okay.
Well,
I
yeah,
guess.
extra pages would be great, but like at 85,000, you're adding a bookmark
Yeah.
to all the backers of the hardcover.
Yeah. Like, ooh.
Yeah. 95,000. It's a spot UV added to the artist edition. Who cares?
Yeah. They don't fucking understand it. You know, they're nerds, so they're like, ooh, a bookmark.
Yeah.
Ooh, a spot UV. And it's like, no one gives a fuck about that. I could give a shit. I don't like the fact that it's done in 8-page increments. Like, give me 16. Give me like, don't tell me you're gonna add 8 pages. Just tell me you're gonna make the book bigger. Like,
65,000. They added 10 pages to the digital edition.
right. It's so stupid, dude. Like, no one, they don't get it. Like, no one fucking cares.
Yeah.
But they'll learn on their next one. You know what I mean? Like this one, Jason Pearson is like, it's a legend book, but like something like Paul Smith or something would not get nearly this. It's gonna be terrible for them.
Well, they've reached 80K, which meant they added 8 extra pages for a total of 224. When it started, it was 200. So they've added 24 extra pages.
Yeah.
And
it's
then they
getting
add
bigger.
10 extra pages to the digital edition of the Locked and Loaded sketchbook.
Yeah.
How many extra pages are they sitting on?
They have all of his stuff, dude. He didn't sell like any of his pay. Like
Yeah, but I know, but when you're putting this thing together, wouldn't you be putting everything into it? I mean, what are you sitting on, you know?
Well, they're putting a lot of that stuff into the other edition, and I'm like, that's the other problem I have is like, I don't really want an artist edition plus. I don't care about the sketchbook, like, because it's just not the style that I'm personally interested in. So I didn't get the sketchbook. But there's like the artist edition, and then they're going to do an artist edition plus. And I'm like, well, why do an artist edition plus? Why not just put it in the fucking artist edition?
Well,
Like,
honestly,
make it
I love the sketchbook stuff, but how big is the sketchbook, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. So there's some things I'm just like, but
it's 64 pages.
Yeah, like I don't give a fuck.
$35 for 64 pages.
Yeah, meh.
Hmm.
I'll skip. I'll pass. I mean, I know he's really good. The Copic marker stuff is amazing, but I don't care. I'm like, for me, it's at the end of the day, no matter how thick that book is going to be, the only things that I care to see are those first 4 issues of Body Bags and his layouts for Body Bags, because I remember him showing those to me. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I want to see. I want to see Body Bags, and I want to see Body Bags. I don't want to see even the later, not the 1997 Body Bags. I don't care about. So, I'm getting exactly what I want. So
I could care less about prints or trading cards.
Yeah. Well, and they're also doing something. I hate to be they're also like, I mean, they're not sane people. Like, I'm not gonna not buy artist editions from Scott Dunbier because like he's very good at this. But he's also he's also crazy on Twitter. He's like absolutely out of his fucking mind.
Oh, really?
He's absolutely out of his fucking mind. And so the only reason I bring that up is because he like one of the things that they're selling as like an add-on is you can buy the digital comics.
Mm-hmm.
You can get as an add-on all 4 issues, the digital issues of Body Bags, which are PDFs, right? For $20.
Okay.
$20 for the PDFs of Body Bags 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's $5 a piece. I can literally, 1, I have it. 2, I can get it in quarter bins. I can get the real thing in quarter bins. 3, the digital copies are out there for free. Like, God, dude, just throw it in as a $5 add-on for 4 issues, and you would sell more, in my opinion. Avery, how you doing, man? You okay?
I'm fine. It's just Andrew has not stopped talking.
It happens.
Every time I tried to say something, someone else started talking. I just gave up.
Okay. Well, I'll be quiet for a little bit if you'd like to talk.
How you doing, brother?
Fine. I got nothing to say now. The subject's changed and gone. I got nothing to say.
All right, fair enough. I mean, it's just us fellas here, so I can talk about some stuff. So, see, I don't know if I should say this. This is definitely something I could say in the green room, but I don't know if I should say it publicly. I'll have to wait. I'll say it privately. I have some stuff after the show, so I don't know.
Well, without Dusty here, you might as well end the show early then, because I mean he's the driving force behind our conversation. So
He really is. He's
make sure you tell him I said that.
He makes the world go round. He does. He's a wonderful human being.
I like Dusty.
Me too. He's going through some shit, so he just can't make it tonight.
Dusty's a cool dude.
Like I've said many times, when he becomes the next Elon Musk and has 15 different children by 7 different pop stars and supermodels, we can all see we knew him when he was just a struggling young man trying to find his place in the world.
It wouldn't surprise me.
And we can also blackmail him for money.
Other things I want to talk about, we probably shouldn't talk about, like, I don't know, the election. You know.
No, please, no. Well, let me tell you.
I will say this. I'll sidebar myself. Hold on. I'll check myself. I will say that I'm thinking about taking the comic that we did and for WAGME and like showing it to other people for potential interest.
You know, so this may sound old-fashioned, but I was raised to believe that there are 3 things that one does not discuss in public over a dinner table: sports, religion, and politics. Because
Sports, really?
well, you know, in my family, there we had both Yankees and Red Sox fans, so yeah, there was not a lot of overlap there. But well, anyway, with politics and religion, you just don't talk. You know, just don't bring it up in public because you're just gonna make people. You know, you're not gonna do anything. So I go to there's like a board game group in my area that I go to.
Mm-hmm.
They meet up at a Denny's and they play board games. And there's a lot of really stuff like really complicated board games, like stuff like Settlers of Catan. I mean, I'm actually thinking about investing in a Heroes Quest box so I can bring it there, because Heroes
cool.
was an awesome game and it was a big I have fond memories of it from my youth.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, so I go there Wednesday, the day after the election, and I voted, and I won't say who I voted for, only that the results were not displeasing to me, and I'll leave it at that. And the thing is though is that when I go to one of these things like that, I go there because I want to get away from the usual bullshit, like work, just daily frustrations, and above all, fucking politics.
Yeah.
All right, man, but politics when it affects something, destroys something. I mean, comic books, comic books were always political. I mean, let's be honest. Like Stan Lee was always kind of like a soft, like a center left liberal, but it was. But it was. They didn't beat you over the head with it. Let me put it that way. Not like it was today, where it's like it's basically become propaganda. But that's a rant for that day. So I'm going there, and we're playing, and one of the organizers, big guy. I'm not going to say his name because there's an off chance he might be watching this. I highly doubt it. He just, he wasn't pleased with the results, and he just went on a rant about it. And this is a guy with a really big voice, and the rest of us are over here like trying to play a game, thinking, "Will you please shut the hell up? We don't we don't care. Well, we care. I mean, I care obviously, but not here. I mean, this is like my refuge away from the world. This is my refuge away from well. Just remember what Churchill said about about the definition of fanatic. A man, a person who won't shut up and won't change the subject. And that's what I was dealing with. I mean, eventually, I think the guy finally got the hit and shut down. But I don't know. I mean, it's just. I mean, what happened on Tuesday is just. It's been nonstop. Well, of course, it's going to be for probably the next few months, and part of the next few years as well. And honestly, I think people are just sick of it. I mean, I think really, if I get that we all have certain views on the issues, but what I like about the stuff that we're doing is that it's not explicitly political. I mean, it's you can probably divine where we are just by after looking at it, but we're not beating you over the head with it. Just trying to tell a good story.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is nothing more boring in the world to watch than propaganda.
Totally.
If you watch, take the greatest piece of propaganda ever written, ever put to film. Triumph of the Will by Leni Riefenstahl.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Bible.
Well,
sorry.
No, I wasn't going to say that. I mean, although I could. I was gonna make a joke about an anti-Jewish joke, but then I thought better of it, also because I can't really think of it.
No. You can make an anti. I give you. You have a temporary Jewish card.
Okay. Well.
No, don't do it. I don't want to get banned off of.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Okay. So, no. What bothered me was, holy shit! I just realized I got rust on my computer. That's really strange. But anyway, yeah. So, Leni Riefenstahl, Triumph of the Will. In terms of actual technique, a filming technique, the use of, the way she did it, it's still studied in film schools, despite the odious subject matter, because from a purely technical standpoint, it's brilliant. But if you actually watch it which I had to do for a college course once, it's actually really boring. It's all. It's all a bunch of Aryan motherfuckers standing in lines and marching and shouting stuff in German. Which by the way, you can find on some of the more ultra porn channels out there. I won't say which ones because again I don't.
Okay.
But let's just say them Europeans, they are seriously fucked up. But anyway. Yeah, no, the thing is that propaganda is just boring, I mean, I'm just like pretty much, you look at a lot of the explicitly political movies that came out during like in the aftermath of the Iraq War. All these movies, like people were trying to make anti-Iraq War movies.
Mm-hmm.
Are unwatchable. They're boring. And it's the same thing with the anti-Vietnam War movies. I mean, they were big in the counterculture, but when you watch them today, like 50 years later, it's like there's no story here. It's just a bunch of guys ranting about how much they hate Nixon. I mean, I remember we had a mutual friend up in remember our friend Matt, one of the, Matt in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Well, after the first time that Trump won.
Well, let's not talk about it.
No. This is interesting. All right, no. Well, our friend of mine, he said he pointed out that he was looking forward to it actually because in times like that, in times of great turmoil, that's when the really great art is made. And there was a lot of art made during that time, just as there was during, but it wasn't very good. I mean, same thing with a lot of the right-wing stuff that came out when Obama was in charge before that. There's a lot of right-wing stuff that came out, and it wasn't very good because propaganda. It's not. I just don't. It's just not entertaining. It's just not interesting. Unless you're a true believer, you're not. It's just not. It's just not going to put butter any parsnips.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Does that make sense?
See that. It does.
I mean, so yeah, I just think that. So I'm a big believer in the belief that art, that art for art's sake, that any real art, any doesn't matter if it's a painting, a movie, a or a comic book even. What makes it great is that it's able to stand on its own and that it's not trying to push a message, that it exists purely for its own sake and it doesn't need to be explained. You can look at it and get it.
Yeah. No, I
And
can see that. I agree with
people
that.
call it privilege if they want, but I mean, the problem with political art is that it dates very quickly. I mean, just think about all this. If you look at a lot of the songs that were recorded that were basically bashing Reagan back in the 80s, or or all the British stuff that was like demonizing Margaret Thatcher. Listen to it today. It doesn't stand on its own. A lot of it doesn't stand on its own. The stuff that does stand on its own, generally speaking, stands in spite of the message, not because of it. Pretty much anything that the Clash did in the 80s. Even though they were obviously not fans of Margaret Thatcher, but you listen to that stuff and it still stands up because it was the Clash.
Right.
I mean, Born in the USA by which is a very political song, but that's still a banger. I mean, even though it's because Bruce Springsteen is just a really good. I mean, he was. I don't know if he still is, but he was a really good performer.
No, he's terrible now.
Yeah, so like you mentioned how Eric Larson is, kind of lost his mind over the last few years, I guess, because of one thing, all the stuff going on in the world, and how it's affected, his output.
Yeah.
Don't let politics and art mix because the politics. It's the same thing. The same thing with religion. Don't let religion and politics mix because one of those things is going to get dominated by the other, and it's not the one that you hope or think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you can let them mix, but I think the key is to do it through the lens of storytelling instead of just pure political shit. Like, I think comics with Donald Trump in it is stupid. I also think comics with Obama in it is stupid. Like, they suck. So, like, make a good story. Like there were some old school. I gotta turn your thing off, man. It's too reverby. But like,
it's my air conditioning.
I know. But they're like I think the very first comic I got was Mike Mignola's was it the Shadow or whatever, and Phantom Stranger, and it had like pictures of Ronald Reagan in it from the news because it was like local, it was talking about the news and stuff, but it seemed real world. It seemed like it was tying it to the then. It didn't seem like it was being political, right? So I think there are ways to do it. It's just people don't seem to understand how to do it anymore. I don't know.
Well, I mean, the guy who was the original artist for Spider-Man, not Kirby, the other guy,
Ditko?
Yeah, Ditko, Steve Ditko. I mean, he was a hardcore Ayn Randian objectivist, and my understanding is that after he left Marvel, he basically retreated to an office just off Times Square and spent the next 30 or 40 years cranking out comics promoting his ideology.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever read one?
I have.
Was it any good?
They're not that. No.
So.
Well, I shouldn't say. To me, they're not that good. No.
Yeah, but look. Obviously, he found readership because he was able to keep it going for decades. Either that, or he was getting money from other things. I don't think back in those days, Marvel's people got royalties on anything. It was all strictly work for hire. But I don't know. Also, he also did the same thing with The Question in DC, and I don't know. And I know. I just it's just I agree there are ways to do it, but I just think that sometimes it's better just to not do it at all, or because I mean, unless you can do it in a way that works with the story, it doesn't work against it. Like the Lord of the Rings, for example. I mean, in Tolkien, in his preface to the Lord of the Rings, after the sixth edition, he wrote like a foreword about why he wrote it, and he said point blank that this is not an allegory for anything. I'm just telling a story, essentially. I hate allegory. I hate metaphors. I'm not, this isn't about communism. It isn't about World War I or World War II. It's just.
And yet, they still pushed it into allegory territory.
Yeah, well, also the fact that he's been dead since he's been dead for like 50 years, and his son who ran the estate for after him is also dead, and now it's in the hands of his I think his children and grandchildren, and they just see the dollar signs, which is how we got Rings of Power on Amazon, which commits an even greater sin than being blatantly political. It's just fucking boring. I mean, I watched the second season. The second season is better, but even so, it's like, it's got its moments, but it's like, come on, guys, you spent $1 billion, literally $1 billion with a B dollars on this TV series. You couldn't spend some of that to hire a decent writer or two?
Yeah, no, they're not allowed to. They have a lot of rules now that they literally have boxes that they have to check. Like DEI boxes.
Todd, on my live stream Saturday night, Avery and I brought up the election and voting and some other stuff. I mean, we didn't go into any specifics. We didn't say who we were voting for, none of that stuff. And some of the comments I got afterwards was, I didn't know this became a political channel. Freaking A, it's not. You just start talking about it, even in just broad terms, and you're going to turn people off. So
I know.
In other words, I recommend we wrap it up.
Sure.
Unless you want this to become a political channel.
No.
Speaking of that, what are the politics of the adult fantasy universe? I know there's a section on politics in the source book, but is there something specific that you want to highlight in the adult fantasy world?
That's actually really interesting. I don't know. I've been thinking about this, and interestingly, I don't know. So the world, especially as we're revisiting the deck, and I think you guys are going to be really happy. It's coming along well, and it's clear. It's a lot more clear, and it was time for me to refresh it and get it out there. But as this stuff gets more clear, so let me read you the about real quick so you can kind of
well, I was just thinking like criminal underlords could be dictators and
right. Well, this is my point. What
is the general
well, you've got in Hyper Brooklyn, a hidden mirror city sealed by a galactic entrapment dome. Heroes, celestial visitors, and dimensional outcasts are drawn into a timeless clash of motives and desires. With shifting alliances and cosmic deities lurking, they must navigate unseen threats to either protect or exploit a primordial force capable of reshaping the universe. And so what it really is, and just because we've played in this sandbox for so long now, it really feels like that Hyper Brooklyn is kind of like the cantina from Star Wars, right? What if the cantina from Star Wars was an entire city?
Right.
Because I'm looking at this and I was like, and I was really banging my head. I was like, how can we have all of this shit in a place called Brooklyn, and the humans don't how maybe the humans can't see people and all. I was like. And then I was like, well, I started thinking about Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. And I was like, well, there's no humans in that. I mean, yeah, Han Solo is humanoid, right? But there's no Earth. Do you know what I mean? Every single shot that a human walks in, there's alien species all around. And so I was just like, uh, I was just like, well, so we don't need to have humans necessarily. So it doesn't need to be like human Brooklyn. So it's more like the cantina. It's just the entire city. It's like it really is like Star Wars in that aspect. It's like what if Star Wars took place in a cyberpunk, kind of like a dirty cyberpunk Blade Runner city, right? Um, and then I was like, okay, well, what based off of all this shit, what kind of like economic or political structure would they have? Like it wouldn't be. It's almost like Ferengi, like capitalism mixed with like gunfire or something. You know what I mean? Like it must be more totalitarian. It has to be, right? Or am I thinking about it the wrong way?
Well, how much of it do you want it to be like our world, like real life? Like Brooklyn obviously is some type of democracy. It lives in a country that's democratic, but there's going to be factions within the world. Like the criminal underworld is like a monarchy or a dictatorship. There's going to be,
Yeah, different
socialism.
factions have different
Yeah,
different factions have different political structures. Well, I
And you
think that's the whole thing. Like the universe is fractured itself, so the elitists are going to have one kind of mode of belief system, but then there has to be an overarching system that is kind of controlling everything, right? Or attempting to. I mean, I'm only familiar with our systems, so I'm only familiar with like capitalism and communism and socialism and Marxism, like the kind of the basics. I'm not really super. I don't totally understand like overseas, like I don't know what Japan is. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like a monarchy, but it's also like I don't know. I'm not familiar with other political systems, but so maybe it's like focusing on the different factions and their systems, but that kind of explodes it. I don't know. What do you think, Andrew?
I have no idea. I don't know enough about politics to be able to tell you. But I like the idea of, the factions having certain political, governance, like dictatorships or monarchies. What's the one where there's a single person in control and it's got to be monarchy, like a king and the son takes over. There's no voting or anything. That's a monarchy, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's something that a criminal underworld, a criminal boss would definitely be. I think that's something you can focus on in a short story. Especially if the son is knocking off the dad in order to take over. But when it comes to the political structure of the world, that's up to you. You and Dusty have to figure that out.
Well,
if it's going to be a focus, of something, I mean,
well, let me ask you this: what's the political like with Kingpin and sort of the Marvel universe? Like, is there an economic like a political?
Well, overall, they live in the United States, so it's a democracy. A representative democracy.
Representative republic, sir.
In the city, in certain things like criminal underworlds, there's definitely a completely different political structure that's there. So yeah, but like I never even thought about it. Hero, there are kingdoms in Hero's world, so there are monarchs and so forth. But there's no overall governing structure of the world, Or if there is, I haven't thought about it yet. It wasn't important. But that's the question: is the political structure of the world important to any of your stories?
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
That's why we need Dusty here. Damn it, Dusty!
Well, I mean, I think these are things that we need to start to talk about. Like, I think most of the city is going to be controlled by the elite, that live in their towers. You know what I mean? Like obviously the people that have money are going to have more power, and they're going to be able to control like resources and financing. Um, I'm generating some images to convey some of the different areas of Hyper Brooklyn right now.
Okay.
Hopefully, I'll have this done by our next call. Oh, God.
Hey Todd, there's more stuff in that folder for you, man.
Oh, awesome, man. Thank you. Yeah, I'm still working on that shit too. We maybe Avery, maybe next week we'll go over it and stuff.
Yeah, I'm uploading my reference and stuff I use too, so that
Okay.
and like my doodles, so you'll have it all, so you can use the stuff I used also. Which
Awesome. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see like this all the stuff gets shuffled
Yeah.
when it gets made, so it's gonna be really curious to see
Yeah,
like
it's gonna be you start shuffle like I've shuffled things, then you shuffle what I send you, and it's just gonna be bizarre.
that's gonna be bizarre.
And
Yeah.
some of these are getting weirder and weirder.
Good. Weird is good.
I'm just mixing so many different things
Good.
and just getting weirder and more abstract ideas.
I have a funny Florida womanish story to tell you. So it's
Okay.
more like an observation about Daytona. So right now it's kind of the off season here. So it's November. It's still pretty warm out here. I mean, I'm running the air conditioner, and if I was up north, I'd be wearing a sweater. It's indoors by the heater. But so there are these two ladies. I don't know who they are. I never spoke to them, but you see them around. And every year I've lived here, they always show up around this time. And you notice them because no matter how cold it is out, no matter what the temperature is, what time it is, they're always walking around in bikini bottoms and like pasties on their on their mammaries.
Sounds like a party.
Yeah, well the thing is, they're both of them are like 70, look like they're like 7 years old.
Sounds horrible.
Yeah. So it's like they show up, they're walking around. It's if you're walking on A1A in Daytona and you're in a bikini, no one really notices. Although these two you do notice because, well, let me put it this way: it's what they wear. There's not a lot left to imagination. I mean, it's literally just like one of them literally just had like starfish pasties on her tits.
Are they hot?
They're 70. They're at least they're in their 60s. They're wrinkled and they're sagging in a lot of places. So yeah, they're hot. If they're hot, if that's your thing, I mean, Todd. I mean, I don't presume to know all that much about your personal. I really don't want to know, but it's like the heart wants. Yeah, to quote Woody Allen, when he had his scandal back in the day, the heart wants what it wants, and sometimes the heart is going to be twisted and strange thing. But the point is that it's Florida, so. So on Nextdoor, there's an app called Nextdoor, which is where basically people in a specific neighborhood can basically bitch at each other about how much they hate Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And someone who's probably a recent transplant from up north is like complaining with these ladies saying, how can they let these women walk around like they're practically naked? I have children. Where's your decency? And I think someone wrote in return, "Damn it, woman! This is Florida. You can't if you can't. This is Daytona Beach, Florida. If you can't let it all hang out here, then this is no longer America." And you know what?
How does that make you feel?
How does that make me feel?
Yeah.
Goddamn motherfucking right.
It's super proud.
Oh yeah. I mean, look. Look. I'm like I said many times. Daytona Beach is where Florida man likes to go on vacation. Although mostly it's just drunk frat boys. But no, man, look. I mean, this is Florida. We're not living in on like the upper East Side in Manhattan anymore. This isn't this isn't like, well, does Jacksonville have a posh and rich area where certain standards of decorum are kept, or is it all like Jacksonville?
I mean, that's something that other people can answer.
Well, the point I'm trying to make is that I moved down to Florida so I wouldn't have to wear a suit. Or if I want to walk outside without my shirt on and a beer belly hanging down over my speedos, clutching like a fitty in one hand and a blunt in the other. Well, now you can't do the blunt because the Amendment 3 got voted down. Clutching a stogie in the other, filled with what I assure you, officer, is pure tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
Why not go for it? Freedom. Oi, oi, oi.
America,
boy. I mean,
America.
like our mutual friend up north, like made a prediction that 5 years from now, you guys will see me on the news standing in the back of a truck, with a giant American, like naked, like fully naked, painted red, white, and blue, with an American flag and with a Gadsden flag in like one arm and like firing a machine gun over the head while the other, while the cops chase us down 95.
Yeah, and I think he was probably right.
Well, I'm not there yet, but some days,
Getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is actually the nice season. If you want to visit Florida, come down now because the temperature is actually really nice, and the water is not too cold yet. You can still go swimming. Right? I mean, the surfers are only just starting to put on their wetsuits. I mean, but everyone comes in the summer when it's just like so hot you don't want to go outside.
Mm-hmm.
Come down now. This is when all the snowbirds show up. Obviously they're old, so they're smart. Because But anyway, yep. So that's my Florida man story for the day. and I'm proud to say that I've yet to get a tattoo anywhere on my body. Although I'm starting to think about it. And if I do, it's gonna be a picture of Ron DeSantis smoking a blunt.
Oh God, great. Does that count as political? I don't know.
No, well, I mean,
Yep.
look, yeah, I guess. I mean, look, I like DeSantis. He's done a good job, but he's one a little tight,
Well, let's not talk about politics. I think that was the point Andrew was trying to make.
All right.
But at least not tonight. I we could talk about it afterwards for sure. I don't care. But yeah. Andrew, you don't have any more you didn't get any more graded books?
I got some more coming and they're just not here yet.
What are you getting?
A couple of different books.
Great, thanks.
Well,
sounds good.
Really hard to show it to you when I don't have them.
That's fine.
I mean, I try to bring it.
Yeah, you bring it. You're good. You're good. It's a relaxed night, honestly, man. Like this week has been kind of crazy and tough, and like just work wise, like without anything else going on. Like it's just been, it's very hard to ramp up right now. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what we have to do is like ramp up. And it's very hard because it's the end of the year and all my body wants to do is like plan and relax. You know what I mean? I could absolutely sit here for the next 2 weeks or 3 or 4 weeks and not do a damn thing, and I just can't. But I'm not allowed to. I can't do that. So it is challenging. You know.
I hear you.
Ito Beach. But
I mean, good thing right now is that I think we're finally starting to recover, at least on the beaches from the hurricanes.
mm,
So the problem was is that we got through. I mean, my area got through. Well, I sort of got through it. I mean, they still one of my windows is still broken, and I'm waiting on the guy to fix it. But it'll be a really annoying if I have to go to Japan and I still have plywood built up in my bedroom. But them's the breaks. But the thing is, though, is that like basically the storms threw up, literally like flung up on the beach, like at least like a foot of sargassum, like that brown stinky seaweed.
mm.
And the worst part, and the thing is, it's actually it's disgusting and it stinks, but it's actually good for the beach because believe it or not, seaweed actually builds up the beach. That's how dunes are made, and we want dunes. But the problem, of course, is that the water is filled with seaweed as well. So if you like fishing off the beach like I do, you really can't do anything because there's just all you catch is seaweed and catfish. And saltwater catfish are poisonous.
Really? I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, there's like hardheads and gaff tops are the big ones here, and they have their fins have spines. The spines have it's not as bad as lionfish. I mean, if you get stung by a lionfish, you're going to be in a lot of pain for a while, but it still hurts. I happened to me once, and like my arm went numb for like an hour, but no, it's starting to clean up, and the best part is that there's actually a bar here, not that far from me where I can walk to. It's literally on the beach. It's like literally like there's an entrance, like they have a deck on the beach, so you can just sit there with a mojito and just watch the world go by.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2 days after the hurricane, I still had a lot of cash in my pocket, so I go down there and I just start drinking, sitting there watching the girls in their bikinis, watching the men in their bikinis. I mean, look, come on. Nowadays, you can't really you can't always tell them apart, and it's just even though we didn't have any power, they only took cash. Just sitting there drinking that beer. Well, actually, drinking that beer. Well, I think it was actually like a Yingling or a Land Shark, followed by a really like mojito that had a little too much sugar in it, I think. But even so, there's some moments in life that are just about perfect, and that was one of them.
We're good.
Yeah. Yeah. See, not political at all. See.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah. See, I can do not political.
Great job.
Yeah.
He did put a little bit of homoerotics in there, but that's okay, right?
Hey. I ascribe to no labels. I consider myself a whatever sexual.
Whatever sexual. I'm trying to.
What are you working on right now, Todd?
I'm working on that pitch deck on the Bible. I've been working on images for the different hoods. You want to see some of it?
Sure.
Hold on for a second. Hold on. There's one more. I've got a quick render going real quick. I see that looks good. 1 second. Just get this last image in this area here.
Andrew, let me ask you something.
Sure.
What was the last movie you actually saw in a theater?
Venom 3. Saw it a couple days ago.
Really?
Yep.
The last movie I saw was The Fall Guy. And that's already out on Amazon. You know, when I was a kid in Connecticut, I would go to the theater every day if I could. I mean, I would go see the same movie that I didn't even particularly like 3 or 4 times in a row. Mostly because I didn't know anyone. Mostly because I didn't know anyone in my town, because I was in college. My parents moved there, and now these days, if I go more than like once or twice a year, it's an event.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think before that, I think before The Fall Guy, the last movie I saw was Dune 2.
Dude, I have not seen Dune 2 yet, and I'm killing myself over it because I loved
It's
that
on
first movie.
it's on Max. If you have a Max subscription, you can see it. I think it might
Yeah,
also
I need to
might be on Netflix.
Right.
It's okay. I mean, it's this is gonna sound weird, but I
Mhm.
really think that if they split it up into a trilogy, it would have been a lot better. Because, yeah. Oh, that's very nice. Is that the one that the artist in the Philippines did?
The what? Yeah. Yeah.
It looks good.
Yeah. He's a great job on this.
Yeah.
So this is not. I mean, I literally just started this today, so there's not a lot here. So I wanted to start with like adult fantasy with this because it's a great image, and then like it's not what you think. You remember those old like telephone party lines, like 1-800?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had a Midjourney render an image that was like referencing 1980s, like late 1980s, early 1990s, like phone chat lines.
Yeah.
I was like, that fucking nailed it. I was like, that's really good.
I almost thought that you actually just clipped something from.
Yeah, no, it's an original Midjourney render.
Wow, it's
Yeah.
it's pretty convincing.
It's pretty convincing, right? Like it even has, you can't tell on the screen, but it even has like the VHS like over.
Yeah, fuzz.
Yeah, it's got some fuzz on it and stuff. Like over here, it's even got like the red, like it looks like the film is all fucked up or something. It's pretty good.
Oh man.
Yeah, and so just kind of like what AF is and where it's coming from. Adult fantasy is a multi-platform universe where fans actively shape the story through comics, games, and community-driven world building, blending classic storytelling with a modern engagement to create a deeply interconnected experience. Like I said, a lot of this is not going to be in here. A lot of it's for me. A lot of it's just kind of figuring it out. I just started today, so fonts and all that kind of crap. I'm not dealing with any of that shit. And so the log line for adult fantasy is right now, in a world where superpowers are both a blessing and a curse, heroes and villains from every corner of the universe clash in epic battles to protect or conquer a fragile city. As cosmic threats, moral dilemmas, and personal sacrifices collide, they discover that saving the world often means facing the darkness within themselves. Plot, but this is more about like the plot of adult fantasy. In Hyper Brooklyn, a hidden mirror city sealed by a galactic entrapment dome, heroes, celestial visitors, and dimensional outcasts are drawn into a timeless clash of motives and desires. With shifting alliances and cosmic deities lurking, they must navigate unseen threats to either protect or exploit a primordial force capable of reshaping the universe. And then I've got a little bit about the setting in Hyper Brooklyn, or a setting of adult fantasy, which I'll read later because I'm still working on it. The tone of adult fantasy, which is a unique blend of dark humor, cosmic intrigue, gritty retro nostalgia, that kind of stuff. And then I go into the characters. The characters are the stuff you know, right? All the stuff. And then I'll probably I'll make this bigger so we can read it. It's there for now. And then what I've been working on right now is hoods. And so hoods are just like some of the different areas in adult fantasy, like in Hyper Brooklyn. Because they don't have to be like regular neighborhoods. They should be all weirdly unique and strange, and seems to me like it should be more gritty. You know, so this is the extra dimensional Borderlands. This is most of this came from the original deck that we had in 2021. It's just refreshing it, updating it, and getting it ready to go public with it. So this is the shifting. So the can you see that? All right, can you see that image? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, can you read it, or should I read it, or does it matter?
Go for it.
The EDB, the extra dimensional Borderlands, or EDB, form the shifting surreal boundary where Hyper Brooklyn intersects with countless other realities. Colors, shapes, and landscapes bleed through from alien worlds, creating a chaotic zone that attracts travelers, smugglers, and thrill seekers. Monitoring this volatile space are the Stormwalkers, a mysterious force of dimensional guards equipped with arcane and advanced tech to manage breaches and keep interdimensional threats in check. Feared and respected, they patrol the EDB with authority, ensuring that only those with clearance or the right connections pass through. Next up is this is Gravesend. Let me see if I can hold on. Let me see if I can. Can you see that? Is that full screen now for you, guys?
Yeah, we can see it.
Is it full screen though?
Yeah.
Because I pushed full screen, but I can't see you anymore because of the way Keynote works.
No, we're still seeing it.
All right. So, but it got bigger, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
That's what she said.
Yeah. So this is Gravesend in the Tez. Gravesend is far from the quiet Brooklyn neighborhood known on Earth. Here in Hyper Brooklyn is the final stop for the dead of all dimensions, brought for refurbishment, rehabilitation, and even resale. Gravesend is a gritty industrial sprawl of factories and markets, home to robot reclamation companies, exotic food vendors, and specialized prep facilities. A haven for bounty hunters, thugs, and chemo drugs, it's a place where anything or anyone can be repurposed, making it one of the Tez's most dangerous and profitable territories. This is the Hinterlands. The Hinterlands stretch along the outermost edge of Hyper Brooklyn, a sprawling twilight zone of half-finished projects, abandoned structures, and wild tangled growth creeping in from the boundary lands. Part wasteland, part frontier, it is a lawless region where the constructs of the Tez begin to warp and dissolve, leaving surreal pockets of warped reality and mutated landscapes. This is where outcast drifters and rogue scientists gather, building makeshift compounds, experimental labs, and illicit dens far from the eyes of Hyper Brooklyn's authorities. It's a place for the bold and the desperate, a territory where survival often means striking uneasy alliances with strange beings and navigating strange phenomena. In the Hinterlands, the rules of time and space are more like suggestions, and the further you wander, the more you risk becoming a permanent part of its twisted geography. This is Coney Island. In Hyper Brooklyn, Coney Island is a faded echo of its former glory, a worn-out amusement park filled with remnants of bygone attractions, creaky carnival rides, and rundown eateries. Haunted by nostalgia and a strange sense of melancholy, it draws in a mix of tourists and locals alike, interdimensional visitors fascinated by its retro charm, and outcasts seeking refuge among the peeling paint and flickering lights. This is the Heights. The Heights is Hyper Brooklyn's hidden enclave of the elite, a secluded zone of luxury high-rises, lush hollow gardens, and cosmic penthouses suspended above the chaos below. Accessible only to those with influence and wealth, it is a place of eerie calm where power is traded and whispers and every surface gleams with unsettling perfection. Here, interdimensional aristocrats and dignitaries strike silent deals, navigating ruthless social hierarchies while sheltered from the mayhem of Hyper Brooklyn. Outsiders rarely gain access, and those who do are watched closely if they are allowed to leave at all. This is the Nest. The Nest sprawls beneath Hyper Brooklyn, a labyrinthine network of tunnels and hidden markets where outcasts and rogues gather beyond the watchful eye of authority. This underworld is dense with neon lights, makeshift tech labs, and stalls trading in forbidden goods. From chemo drugs to salvage cosmic gadgets, uh, shadows conceal dealmakers, smugglers, and renegade scientists, all carving out territory in the lawless depths. It's a place of danger and opportunity where anything can be traded or built for a price or a favor that might come due at any time. This is the Bazaar, a sprawling, ever-changing marketplace in the heart of Hyper Brooklyn. The Bazaar is the go-to destination for those seeking rare artifacts, magical relics, and mysterious trinkets from across dimensions. It's a chaotic maze of stalls and shops with no fixed layout, shifting overnight to confuse any who try to map it. Merchants from countless worlds hawk their wares, creating a cacophony of sights, sounds, and smells. From alien delicacies to dubious charms, the Bazaar offers nearly anything for the right price or trade. It's a favorite haunt for collectors, con artists, and the curious alike. This is the arcades. In the arcades, the neon-lit remnants of Hyper Brooklyn's gaming past, arcades host endless rows of retro cabinets and holographic consoles, blending nostalgia with bizarre technology from across the universe. Here, beings from all dimensions come to test their skills in games that range from classic to downright supernatural. But the arcades are more than just a place to play. They are a hotspot for underground betting with powerful cosmic figures and thrill-seeking tourists wagering on high-stakes, lifelike simulations that can trap a player's essence if they lose. Many say that once you enter the arcades, you may never leave unchanged. And then I think this is the last one. Yeah, this is the Fringe. The farthest reaches of Hyper Brooklyn, the Fringe is where the Gloam's containment field flickers, revealing glimpses of the real world and strange beings sometimes slip through. This desolate edge is a gathering place for the lost and the desperate, drawn by the possibility of escape, even if it's just an illusion. The Fringe's atmosphere is thick with static, and time here warps unpredictably, with some claiming it's a shortcut to other realms. It's a haven for runaway experiments, rogue portals, and strange phenomena, a place where one wrong step might send you spiraling into another dimension entirely. So that's pretty much what I got right now. I've got some definitions of like what the Gloam is and what the Tez is, but that's basically it.
Okay.
So, what do you think?
Cool.
So I'm gonna keep working on that tonight. I mean, a lot of this stuff is from. If you look, I'll show you what I'm pulling from. This is the original deck, the old deck. Right. So this is the original one. And so we had like the Primordial and some alien stuff. So all this stuff is going to be in there. And then we had like a map of that showing the field, the dimensional field. You've got your core factions. And then we've got the team stuff down here. And then at the end, which is where I really was focusing today, was we called them zones. So there's the Borderlands. I didn't have a picture. Gravesend. These were just all pulled from the internet back in the day, right? Coney Island, things like that. And then I added a few others. And now I'm going to do all the locations. So we'll have like, you know, some of these I'll keep, some of them I'll trash. But yeah, it should be pretty cool. So it's good to update it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's been a few years, and really this one was kind of like, you know, we did it. We weren't really showing anybody, so we just did it for ourselves internally, and then like got to work, and now it's really time to kind of get it out there.
Very good. Very good.
Is it inspiring? Is it okay?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
hard. 'Cause a lot of it is gritty, but I also want to make sure that we have like, it's you know, you don't want the whole thing to be gritty. Although I guess it could be, but I mean, Brooklyn's kind of gritty, so. Anyway. Well, cool, guys. Anything else for this Friday night?
Oh, nothing I can think of.
No.
No, not really. I mean,
But I will say, Zach, like once I got him, yeah, there. Once I get this draft done, I'll send it to you guys so you can kind of check it out and give me some notes and if there's anything you want to add or change or, you know,
no
we can
worries.
kind of modify it. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully, well, you know, I'm just gonna bust through a quick draft of this and then, yeah, hopefully we'll have it good. So it's exciting. I'm ready to get it out there. Get this deck done. Anyway, does anyone else have anything else? Do we want to promote anything, say anything before you head off into the weekend, the blue sky?
No, I'm just working on a website. So I mean, I got a lot of stuff I can show you. I just can't remember it any of the moment because I'm so fucking tired. But,
That's okay, man. It's been a long year, bro. It's been a long year, so
yeah,
it's okay.
Not over yet.
I know. We're almost there. Well, cool. Well, I got something to tell you guys in the green room, but
Go for it.
before that, we'll say love you guys. Happy Friday. Nerd Den, adultfantasy.io. New website coming soon. Working on that too. God, we're working on so much stuff right now. But yeah, have a great weekend and we'll see you next time. And until then, take care. God bless. Peace out. And